Dakshinaa, Chennai. Dreams 2020. Dakshinaa Ramunni Menon Excellence Award for Meritorious Social Service 2020. Presented to Mrs. Alice Garg for her exemplary service rendered to the downtrodden by working in the field of development, rehabilitation and empowerment of women and children, and thus contributing for social transformation by spreading lofty ideals, save children, save generation. Dr. C.G. Rajendra Babu, Chairman, Dakshinaa, M. Padmanabhan, President, Dakshinaa, and S.S. Pillai, General Secretary, Dakshinaa.
നമുക്കേവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യാം ശ്രീ പാണ്ഡ്യ രാജൻ സർ.
Dear friends, it's such a pleasure to be part of this solemn moment and to meet someone like Madam Alice Garg, present an award to her. I must have done something very good in the past birth, I'm sure. And thanks Dakshinaa for the opportunity you gave me. It's a very interesting name, Dakshinaa. Dakshinaa has two meanings in Sanskrit. It is one of the words which come in Vedic literature, Vedas, Upanishads. Dakshinaa is a concept which is very liberally there all over the place. All of you know the famous Dakshinaa, the Guru Dakshinaa asked by Dronacharya to Ekalavya, as they call, Ekaleva, we call. A very famous thumb as the Dakshinaa that he asked. And many interpretations which surround it. One of the interpretations is that Dronacharya, in those days of rigid social structure, did not want someone of lower birth to become more competent than the Kshatriya that Arjun was. This is one of the interpretations in the Recipient land in Tamilnadu we always have. And of course there are other interpretations which talk about how kind Drona was to Ekalavya, that he did not want him to become the other pole that eventually Karna became at some point. So, many interpretations. And I'm very delighted that you chose this name, Dakshinaa, as giving back something. Those days, apparently, the master, the Guru Dakshinaa, the prime Dakshinaa used to be the cow. You know, to the priest who conducts your entire yaga. You're supposed to give him back cow. The ultimate form of Guru Dakshinaa used to be that, apparently. I'm very delighted that he chose the name Dakshinaa for a socio-cultural integration that is sought among yourself. Very nicely, Sir spoke about, Mr. Pillai spoke about the way this community emerged in Tamilnadu. We had one side some of the best known CEOs here who were mostly either a Menon or a Pillai or a Nair. I mean the classical, and the other side, all the founders of the trade union movement in Chennai, where Menons or Nairs are, very classical, the person, or Johns. That's the later part. You had Johns from Kerala, the Madras Labor Union, which got formed by a family. And apparently, Mr. Nair, the person who formed the first union in Singapore. My friend Chandran is here. There was one Nair who initially created the opposite pole for Lee Kuan Yew, the institute that Mr. Chandran now is part of. One of the largest think tanks in the world, Lee Kuan Yew Institute for Public Policy. So Nair was one perfect opponent for Lee Kuan Yew's entire rightist movement. He formed the leftist alternative. And I was amazed to see the other part of the Mr. Ramunni Menon. I mean, I'm very delighted to see the human part which brilliantly narrated, while also narrating his own ability to raise a hand against injustice, whatever he perceived it to be. And the kind of impact obviously seemed to have made on your mind. I kept asking, what did he create? Was this created by him? No, that was her father who created it. The lady who was sitting there. Is there the one who created Kerala Samaja? No, someone else created it. So I said, what is it that he created that has made such an impact in your minds and hearts that you create an award? And there's so much of solemnity about the person. He only said, he was a good man. He kept on saying he was a good man. So I was saying, this must be really a phenomenal organization if you celebrate the goodness in a man who has actually touched and fostered humanness in whatever he saw around him, in whatever manner that you've seen him touch and foster humanness. To institute an award in his name, to institute in his memory an award of this kind, where you search the whole India, seek out somebody of the kind that you've chosen. 3 times, I think, the award, this is the 3rd time we've given it. The earlier 2 awardees, when I saw, you've actually been able to get some unmined gems who are very silently working in their own place, and get them to come here. And after that, they seem to gain whatever. I mean, the lady who came apparently within 1 year, she went and got a Bal Rashmi or whatever. People started speaking heavily about her. I think there's some purpose that you've picked up. And I think it's phenomenal in my view. See, I've been part of many service organizations. I created this MAFA Foundation, Sondamal Education Trust. We've been doing a lot of work, but I've never found something which is instituted in the memory of a good man, just something was instituted for the humanness that you experienced in someone who has been part of your lives, and the collective psyche of this community of Dakshinaa people, the 70 of them or 200 of them, as you say, must be rooted in goodness, humanness, where you recognize people who touch and foster humanness. And I think it's a great example of a person who touched and fostered humanness, what you have in Madam Alice Garg. I found whatever is written about her, after that I spoke to people, the kind of work that she seemed to be doing. On one hand, exactly like Ramunni Menon, she has her own passion for doing her own thing. I was just handed over the treasure of Seashells, the Alice Garg National Seashell Museum. I'm very amazed that someone who devoted her entire life to children, save generation, the underprivileged sections of the society, women, building institutions where volunteers seem to be marching to the drumbeat of her efforts. I mean, so much I'm finding this amazing kind of a stretch of working with Sansis, Kanjas, Bagadiyas, Banjaras, Beals. I mean, the kind of, to manage one constituency, how much tough it is to manage one constituency, to run and manage all the needs, education, health, livelihood needs of a range of people, working with a certain boundary of 42 villages of Picholia block of Bhilwara district. I really like this ability to stay with a certain boundary, make an impact in that community, right there, cutting across children, women, youth kind of a thing, and shedding the beacon of light to whoever follows her. The kind of following that she's to build is phenomenal. So I think you've chosen a great person, and may I offer my pranams to her may I, salute this effort of yours quietly, like a gently flowing stream of river. You've been doing this, and you've lent it a certain sustainability, where you're able to do it once or 2 years, and you're able to find the right person, and within your means of 70 people, 200 people, whatever, being able to do so much to the community here. You've been, as Milton said, many a flower is born to spread its fragrance and wither away, kind of a thing. You actually managed to create a flower that spreads its fragrance forever and ever. That's the kind of sustainability you seem to have built for yourself, and may your tribe flourish, may your tribe grow in strength. And as I was thinking about this whole thing, different models of giving back emerged in my mind. You've chosen this theme, giving back, for whatever reasons, Dakshinaa. I've always wondered the kind of diverse thoughts people have when it comes to giving back. In Tamil, we have one classical model, Tanakku Minchi Daan Dana. Okay, which basically means that daan is something you give after you take care of your needs, your family needs, and then whatever is left, you give. Okay, one model of giving back. The other model of giving back is the Christian model of predetermine what you will give. Dasama Bhagam, as they call it. 1/10 of what you earn goes to the community. Give. Which means you pre-commit what you will give. Okay. And this is a very interesting model. There are some communities in Tamilnadu where they have actually made that a part of their structure of living. Like the Nadar community, for instance, here, from where Kamraj was born, they have a model called Mahamai, which would mean that whatever you earn, 1% goes to the community. They formally take it. When you do the invoice itself, they will pick up 1% and it goes to the community organization. So that's another kind of giving. The third, which I've never really been able to understand and assimilate, is the Mother Teresa kind of giving back, where she said, give till it hurts. If it doesn't hurt, you're not giving. You're doing it for your ego satisfaction. Give till it hurts. Okay, so the true test of giving meaningfully is if it's hurt you. In some sense, you've given up something, you've sacrificed something in order to give. Otherwise, it's not giving. That's a very, very powerful 3 words with which Mother Teresa came up with the model of giving. I've always found with wonder the kind of giving that collectives like yourselves, or there are very many collectives, there are many associations, many Rotary, Lions, many of them. I asked them, the organizers, how do you fund these? Many activities that you're doing, how are you funding this? So mostly our members. We raise hardly any donations. If at all anything, one program, somebody sponsors, somebody does this kind of a thing. I really would like to leave with you the different models of giving and what you give off. Are you giving a part of yourself, skills? Are you giving a part of your competence? Are you giving a part of your earnings? Are you giving a part of yourself? In some sense, Ramunni Menon's model of living seems to be, he seems to have given a large part of himself, which is the reason I think you're remembering him with so much of fondness, so much of sanctity, so much of amazing amount of fondness, which seemed to remain 8 years after his passing away in the kind of emotions that he expressed for himself. So may Dakshinaa be an organization which is a place, as you rightly said, no caste, no religion, no language barriers. I think it's a great place. Probably you need to define yourself as a place where people give of themselves. People give of a large part of themselves to the community around, to the needy, like Madam Alice Garg has done in her own way, may her act of giving so much of herself to the society around, a society which she seemed to have adopted, a Parsi married to a Punjabi sitting in Jaipur, working with the Gonds and Bills and Banjaras of the place there. I think one thing she seemed to have said in an unsaid manner is that the same God, the same divinity lives all around, and the most needy would draw her efforts, her blessings, draw so much of her to them. And that divine connect is what I think probably motivated Ramunni Menon. I don't know whether he was a believer, whether he was a non-believer, but I think whatever he conceived divinity to be, may that spirit of divine grace rest with all of us in this moment. May all of us be inspired to give a lot more of ourselves as Dakshinaa to the society which has made us to be who we are. Thank you. All the best.